Hello everyone and welcome to my dad. Yes, today I am attempting to do an iRacing endurance with my dad. He got me into sim racing many years ago, and recently, since he retired, he has actually caught the iRacing bug. So today we decided we would attempt to do the 2-hour production car challenge together in the Toyota GR86 here from Oulton Park.
Yeah, I like the brake pedal feeling like a brake pedal.
Well, that's how a race car brake pedal.
Exactly. I've never driven a race car. So.
Neither have I.
No. The best way to do your brakes is to brake. Yeah, and to do your
The
tyres.
best way to do your brakes is to brake.
The best way to do your tyres is to brake hard. That's the way to get heated tyres in real life. I don't know what it's like in here.
And there we go then, some fantastic insight first of all. First thing I'm just going to quickly say, this was his practice race just to make sure he was happy with my rig. As you can see, he was already complaining about this, that and the other. So if there's any rig providers or wheel providers that want to send him some stuff to continue his sim racing hobby, would be greatly appreciated. Also, I've just realised editing this back, my accent is way more West Country during this video than it normally is, so obviously I'm not really commentating this, we were just having a bit of a chit chat and everything like that as well, but he did pretty well off the start. It would take a few laps in though, like I said, this is just his 15-minute practice race to make sure he was happy, and things started to get a little bit chaotic. He's got about 1200 iRating, so he's not genuinely not slow inside the game. He just kind of hangs on.
Trying to squeeze me out, isn't he?
Not really. He's actually been very generous with the rig he's given you. Go on.
Off track, it's alright.
Oh my, what is going on there? He's trying to give you a push. That was touring cars.
Shit.
Then he decided he was going to punch my microphone as well, but this bit was definitely my highlight of the practice race.
Brake.
I am.
Careful, hold. Go. He's like telling the dog to wait.
What, mine?
Yeah.
See, I thought that he broke, because he was fighting, obviously he broke far too early. I broke at my normal point, but obviously going up the inside of him wasn't going to work.
And to be fair, then you tried to square him out halfway through the corner and just put yourself wide.
Not deliberately, but I just didn't really know what I was doing.
Well, maybe a bit of a panic there under pressure during his practice race, but we were ready then for 2 hours here at Oulton Park. My dad decided to start. He would qualify us down in P16. Some would call it last, but Team Sloth were ready for their first ever endurance race inside the sim. Now, this series has got the BMW M2 competition, the Toyota GR86, and then Mazda MX-5s. Now, the MX-5s are actually pretty well paced around this circuit. We kept it fairly quiet over the first couple of laps just to make sure that he could really concentrate.
Nice.
I tried to give him any pointers that I could, but as I'm sure most of you know that have raced before, sometimes early on you just want to be able to try and concentrate. And, you know, if there's any chaos, as someone already off, or two cars already off on the inside, you just want to be able to avoid them. As well as someone in front there getting a bit of a wobble on. And, well, look at this, Dad 212 immediately trying to pull off a move around the outside. But it's a long race, he knows to be patient. As I said, he genuinely iRaces quite a bit at home, so, you know, his favourite car to race is generally the GR86. For those of you that are interested, I think his favourite track is Virginia International Raceway. He is, as like the rest of us, not the biggest fan of iRacing's prices model as well. He has bought a little bit of content, but you can already see then a couple of the MX-5s right up his trumpet, so I've got to try and keep them at bay nice and early on. But the Mazda is rather quick in a straight line, as you will have heard there. Once again, he wasn't quite a fan of my microphone. That was kind of getting frustrating for him as well, as one of the M2s goes down the outside, and he's going to dive bomb them immediately. And I thought our race was going to be over instantly there. As he kind of parks it in front of the entire MX-5 field as well. Through the chicane there. That I genuinely thought was game over. Then I saw that guy parked on the outside of the corner as well. And to be fair to him, he's done pretty well. Surviving the pressure of lap 1. We all make mistakes from time to time, and he is able to make a bit of progress here. Like we said, coming into this race, we just wanted to try and get to the finish.
He hit me.
That MX-5 clearly didn't want us to get to the finish, and yeah, it's not been a great lap 1, has it? Again, we'd have to wait for all the MX-5s to go through. But I believe despite all of that, we had still gained 1 spot. Nope, it's gone. Adam there immediately making his way through. Luckily, these kind of races, though, a bit of a trick.
No, I was going around the outside.
No, you went with the boom. You did do the right thing of avoiding him. Then you sort of just park in front of the entire field.
I didn't have a lot of choice. He was still on my nose. No, I think I'd probably prefer the Mazda overall. I've got used to this. I haven't raced the Mazda for a while. Yeah. But I think I prefer the Mazda overall. The handling I find a bit more neutral.
Yeah. Could have done this in the Mazda if you wanted.
No, I'm quite happy to try it. I've been trying to get used to the 86.
There we go then, less than 10 minutes into the race. A bad workman always blames their tools, I think is the term we're looking for. Yeah, I'll be honest, it was a really odd race because some of the MX-5s were quicker than us, some of the MX-5s were slower than us, but we were luckily picking up some spots from some of the GR86s that were making mistakes. Of course, this isn't going to be like a full highlights package of the race, but kind of just more the funny and interesting moments.
Matt, there's some more cars.
There's a car. There's a car. Oh my lord.
Sorry.
Only got a 1x for that. And the guy that you've been patient with just...
I know. Did I take him out completely?
I think he's still going.
I didn't have... That wasn't really...
You can do a lot there.
I mean, to be fair to him, he's already got the racing driver excuses down. Nothing is ever his fault inside this race. But yeah, I wanted him originally to try and do my YouTube intro, but he got a little bit nervous and shy. But I mean, yeah, my dad got me into sim racing over 20 years ago. I remember playing Colin McRae back on the PlayStation 2, and it's kind of nice because
that wasn't my fault.
Any parent, as you get older, you do tend to spend a bit less time with them as you're doing your own thing. But it kind of feels like we've almost gone full circle as such, and hopefully now kind of sharing this sim racing hobby that he got me into in the first place, and well, 20 years later, I'm kind of re-sharing with him as well. And yeah, I mean, I will also say, he's a bit of an iRacing snob. I've said to him, you know, do you fancy trying out Le Mans Ultimate or Assetto Corsa Competizione or anything like that? No, I want to try and get better at iRacing, was always his quote there as well. Almost runs into the back of the MX-5 ahead. But things were about to get a bit more dramatic.
I avoided him then, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Annoyingly, we'd actually lapped one of the GR86s in our class, and then he, for some reason, outbroke himself and did this.
Oh, what did you do that for? Oh,
He's still up behind me. Why did... Oh.
Matt, where's my spotter then?
You reversed him.
Ah. I'm gutted by that.
Yeah. You're unlucky there. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Unfortunate moment early on in the day, though, and again, I apologise. He really couldn't kind of get his head around having the microphone in the way. I know it's not ideal, and especially if you're not used to having a microphone there, that it is quite frustrating, but it was quite funny just how many times he hit the microphone. And I apologise as well that I had to get the bleep machine out. I normally don't swear on the channel. My dad knows that I don't normally swear on the channel, but clearly I know behind closed doors what he is now like when sim racing. Luckily though, this series you do get a fast repair, so he was able to get back out there pretty quickly. We took fresh tyres, you know, we got the car all sorted out, and normally he only races for like 25-minute races, but he was quite happy just to keep going.
Was that the bollard then?
Yeah, that was terrible.
Oh, that's what I meant, sorry.
I mean, we've all hit that wall before, haven't we? The ones here at Oulton Park, I desperately hope they finally sort out. And he got a bit unlucky there, that was a meatball. But unfortunately, yeah, we climbed all the way up to 7th spot so far in this race. He had genuinely done very, very well. But as he kind of gets towards the hour mark, clearly some mistakes were starting to creep in. And unfortunately, yeah, we had to take big damage this time round. So I would jump into the car. Let's have a look. So it was I mean, it's always just going to be a glancing blow, isn't it? But
touched it. Didn't slow me down.
I mean, I got back out there, I started driving. For some reason, he decided he just wanted to sit comfy whilst I was in the car, so incredibly supportive. And I don't think he kind of knew exactly where my camera was, so sat out of shot. Sadly, though, the iRacing FPS glitch that some of you guys might have heard of before, basically, if you look at a replay midway through a race, unfortunately, when you get back in the car, the FPS just becomes terrible. And I was basically trying to drive around. It's not like your device playing up or anything now. We were getting like as low as 15, 20 FPS, and it was just getting worse and worse. Although sometimes it can also be where the game only renders a certain amount of cars, because obviously that's a separate piece of software. So obviously if it's not getting information submitted from them, because iRacing hasn't loaded them at the moment, it might be that. There we go, another victim of the Race Labs curse. I put all these graphics up on the screen, and then they only sometimes work. Oh, mate, why are you backing out? I've lifted off 50 metres early. Couldn't have made it more obvious. You could have got through. Ah! What? I'm nowhere near him. I didn't. See what I mean though about the... I genuinely, like, editing this back, I cannot get over how much more Gloucestershire I sound when I'm with my dad. Watching what he's doing, at least it kind of, you guys now know where I get my accent from. Sometimes you give me stick, but a lot of people say we sound like exactly the same. So let me know down in the comments below. Sadly though, the FPS glitch did get so bad that later on in the day we did quit out and kind of load back into the sim, and it basically just meant that we kind of got a 5-10 minute blast in the car right towards the end of the race. I mean, P9 provisionally at the moment. I think we might have lost one more spot right towards the end of this, but yeah, it was a right laugh, even though we did do pretty badly, even though we trashed the car about 3 times. You can see Dad trying to shoo away this guy that he just let lap him, and then immediately wants to try and unlap himself once again as well. But like I said, it has been really kind of fun, obviously kind of coming back full circle. The amount of times I'll get a text from him, especially since I moved out, of kind of going, did you see the iRacing race I did recently? And of course I don't spend my days looking at his iRacing statistics, but now I kind of have to as well there. And I mean, like I said, this was obviously the reason why I make sim racing videos now, I'm sure, is a huge part down to my dad, and obviously getting me into sim racing back when I was a whole lot younger as well. We would try and do a bit of an on-track pit stop with about 7 minutes to go, because fun fact, up to this point, our fastest lap of the day still had been set by my dad. Admittedly, he'd only given me a destroyed car prior to this point, but you can see there a very, very quick style pit stop as I try and clamber back into my rig and get my shoes back on and everything like that, and it would come down to the very last lap as to whether I could beat his PB. But yeah, this is also one for you guys as well. He's been asking me about whether he could set up a YouTube channel, whether people would be interested in watching some of his iRacing highlights. So if you have gone on to enjoy, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and comment down below that you'd love to see some Dad212 content on the channel, because we are genuinely considering doing some other endurance races as we head into 2026. Maybe I live stream them. I think he'd rather do them from his rig at home, but we did have a lot of fun obviously doing it together as well there. He's just used to obviously his own equipment and everything like that. For those of you that may be more kind of sim racing aficionados and things like that, he currently has a Moza R9 and I think the CSR like basically the Formula rim that they do with the screen as well, which Moses kindly sent to me a couple of years ago. So he basically now gets my hand-me-downs as well inside the sim. But like a lot of our iRacing endurances, the result didn't go very well. But we had a huge amount of fun with it, and it was really, really enjoyable. And on this final lap, you can still see on the dash at the moment, I am about a tenth up on his PB. There was definitely a bit of aero damage on the car. I was losing a bit of straight line speed as well. But can we hang on into these final few corners? Can Team Sloth reach the checkered flag in their very first endurance race as well? No. No! No! Go! Go! No! Yeah, so that was a 48.888. And there we go then. Bottle Job 212 living up to my name as well there. So, yeah, my dad apparently is a quicker sim racer than me already inside the game. But there we go, a nice little handshake as well between the pair of us. Thank you all so much for watching what is a very, very different video to what I normally do. We ended up finishing 11 laps down of the leader, but we finished with a smile, and that is all that really matters. Dad, I'm sure you're watching this as well. Thank you. Definitely we're going to have to do another one of these in the not too distant future. And yeah, maybe we'll get a Dad212 YouTube channel set up.